Gang stalking is the art of destroying someone indirectly. Believe it or not, gang stalking has the power to turn you into a drug addict, to turn you into a sex addict, to lower your self-esteem, to throw your dignity and your self-respect to the trash. Gang stalkers tried to make me into a gambling addict, a gambling junkie. And in this video, I'm going to explain to you the intent of 7 months that took place in my job at O'Reilly Auto Parts, and where my boss, my coworkers, and even the customers were actually involved in. So imagine that you're at work and all of a sudden, customers start giving you 2 scratchers a week. I'm not kidding. Out of the blue, 2 scratchers every week. And then all of a sudden, everyone around you starts talking about gambling, about how much money they want. And then your coworkers start asking you, hey, what is your favorite machine at the casino? Do you like to play the slots? And everyone at your work is continuously pushing the idea of gambling. And your coworkers who are actively gang stalking you all of a sudden behave really friendly and begin asking you, let's bet $1. If you win, if it's tails, and I win if it's heads. I never agreed to this once, but they also tried to get me in on this to gamble paying for drinks. I never agreed to this because I simply do not like gambling. And to anyone else, this can see as simple work banter or a way to make work more entertaining. However, when you're getting gang stalked, you as a target have to be very wary of everything that happens around you. Because especially if your coworkers have been harassing you indirectly, it is incredibly likely that what they are doing has an ulterior motive. You see, when you're getting gang stalked, you are consistently confused because because everyone is doing things that appear something else. For example, gang stalkers are going to hold their phone like this and look at you and even laugh and pretend like they are recording you with their cell phone. But the truth is that they just want you to believe that they are recording you. That way you grow paranoid whenever someone is holding their phone. Gang stalking is all about confusion. It's all about confusing the target with the purpose of you making an opening to any type of influence that they can impose on your conscious mind. Confusion leads to indoctrination. So if in one of those states of mind when you are confused and everyone around you is talking about gambling, your brain is most likely to accept the idea of gambling, which can lead you to engage into that behavior. The truth of the matter is that my imagination never allowed gambling to become a thought. But if I had imagined myself in the casino, that would be me opening the gateway to allowing that type of behavior become a possibility. So for many months, I was receiving free scratchers. My coworkers constantly spoke about going out to gamble. But the fact that I never allowed my imagination to open to the possibility of me gambling, that is what protected me. That is what protected my mind from making me into a gambler. And the fact that it is such a long process, it is something that is impossible to prove, and it's something that is really hard to see for anyone who does not have experience dealing with people with such destructive intentions. So if you are a target and all of a sudden people around you appear to be talking about gambling, be very careful with what you imagine, because the moment that you start imagining yourself gambling will be the moment where you have opened the gateways to engage in self-destructive behavior. The moment that I realized that this was a setup was when one day I was helping a customer. I'm not sure what her name is, but I know that she drove a Volkswagen Passat. Big woman with big glasses. She just looked at me like this and she said, "You don't like gambling, huh?" I swear to God, and I said, "No, I have absolutely zero interest in gambling." And she was like, and then she left without buying anything. And after that moment, I looked around and everyone at my work was staring at me. No one had a face of happiness. Even the customers paused. Everyone stopped what they were doing to look at this woman tell me, You don't like gambling, huh? And then everyone just put a sour face and the bitch left. And after that, only two people kept talking about gambling after that moment. But those were the two people that always spoke about gambling amongst themselves, which is totally normal. So just know that if all of a sudden everyone around you begins talking about a topic that could possibly lead you to a behavior that can be extremely detrimental to your mind, to your wallet, and to your soul, be very careful. Because once you can conceptualize that those who don't like you, that are around you, are actually trying to make you self-destruct, are going to do these types of things because it is unblockable, it is something that is effective over the long term, and it's impossible to prove. And if you tell someone, no one is going to believe you. And the fact that these tactics, are so infallible is what makes me love them the more. Like the whole idea of this actually being a reality, it's fucking crazy. And I love it for that, but it sucks that I went through it. It really does, and I would wish this type upon my worst enemy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do wish a bunch of this shit happening to people that I don't like. I'm not gonna turn the other cheek. I'm gonna tell you how it is. I am a human being and I have my right to be angry and I can wish will upon others. And that's normal. But that is not a thought that I focus on. I'm too busy taking care of business. You know what I mean? Regardless of how bad these people have done to me. The truth is that feeling hate is actually really unhealthy. It is like the worst thing that you can do for yourself. So you have to train your mind to not allow it to feel hate. Actually, the best way to deal with this is to simply block these people. Now, I am at a point where at the first light, block. And I am only leaving the doors open to some people because sooner or later, I'm gonna hear of something that happened that was really awful to them. And that is a time where I'm gonna send them a message. I'm so sorry of what happened to you, And that is the point where I'm gonna be like, send, and I'm redeemed. That's it. So that is the pettiness in me that I am keeping my doors open. But that's it. That's all I'm gonna do. And if I don't hear from them ever, the better, because that means that that I just was able to keep my life clear from these disgusting people. So if you're a gang stalker, fuck you, I hope you die. Okay? And if you're a target, I'm sorry of all the shit that happens to you. But just be really careful of these type of tactics. Like if all of a sudden everyone around you starts talking about sex, about drugs, about gambling, about something that can lead you to any type of self-destructive behavior, do yourself a favor and never imagine yourself engaging in such activities. Because once you start imagining yourself doing things that you shouldn't, that can possibly lead to destruction, that is when the influence has been successful. Your imagination is the one thing that you should watch out for. Things that you see, such as porn, such as taboo topics, you should keep your imagination away from all of that because it is really, really hurtful for your soul and for your behavior. All right. So anyways, this video was only to tell you about how gang stalkers try to make me addicted to gambling and how gang stalkers can do that to you too. And this is not meant to help gang stalkers, but I have to explain this in a manner that targets would have a clearer image, a clearer understanding of what the reasoning of gang stalkers is. So if you're a gang stalker, all you have to do is to have I don't even feel comfortable saying this anymore because Marigold funnies. Well, because it does seem like if I'm trying to help gang stalkers, okay, so I'm gonna have to change the way that I phrase this so that it's not gonna be misunderstood. So gang stalkers would talk amongst themselves in such a way that would make it clear that they should all talk about gambling and they should work the mind of the target to be thinking about gambling. So your mind is the one thing that you have to be protecting. Never, never, ever imagine yourself doing anything that gang stalkers are talking about. If you're getting gang stalked, the gang stalkers are gonna be talking about gambling. So don't imagine yourself in the casino. Gang stalkers will be talking about driving and smoking pot. So don't smoke pot while driving. So just don't do any of that. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.